Hey everybody, Lady Cheryl here, and in my car, in the back seat is...
Brian and Bria.
And what are you guys doing here?
We went to Cece's Pizza and we just got back in the car.
And did you enjoy yourself?
Yes.
And why did you pick this restaurant?
Because I love pizza. And it's an all-you-can-eat restaurant.
And did you overeat?
No.
Why not?
Because I didn't want to.
And who else wouldn't let you?
You.
Okay. But their mother and father were out of town, and I kept them for about 4 days on my own, taking them to school, picking them up, doing everything, checking homework, everything that the mother and father would do. And I'm going to tell you some reason why women are not supposed to have children when they're almost 70. Because this was a lot, and I'm glad they're back. I'm going to share with you in this video. Going to give you my honest opinion of the 3 hydroponic systems I'm using, and I'm also going to share an update with how I'm growing food inside using the Kratky method. Okay, so let's get on with this video. Okay, guys, Brian and I just harvested all of this Tom Thumb lettuce. Brian, you want to flip it over so they can see all the roots at the bottom? So you see a vigorous root growth. Now, I could cut this lettuce off. You could turn it back over. I could cut this lettuce off and let it keep growing, but I wanted to utilize this time to go ahead and change the cover on this garden box system. Okay. Thanks, Brian. I just want to show you guys, you can look at the plastic baskets. That's not green. That's part of the plant. And you can look at this one. These are the sponges and the basket that came out of the garden cube system. There is no evidence of algae. I don't know why that is, but it is. The next time I cover the top of my hydroponic system, I'm going to remove the cover completely. And that way I can, cover it better before I start new seed. It was easy to cover, and all you have to do is just punch a little hole right there to put in your baskets. But I will, next time, get a more heavier foil. I have the baskets inserted into the top of the system where I'm going to be starting more seeds. This particular garden cube can accommodate 9 plants. But after using the system for a while, you'll learn that some plants have larger, longer roots, and it's better if you have some space between the plants. I am only going to start 6 baskets of seeds. I removed 2 of the red robin tomatoes plants that were growing. Look how long those roots are. Look how thick they are. So I'm not taking a chance, but I moved plants in my food forest around in soil all the time. I think they won't go into shock. They're doing well. So now I'm going to just put it back into, carefully, I'm going to drop this back into the hole for the basket. I'm going to put the camera down so I can secure it with 2 hands. Okay, there we go. Let me go up under here so you can see a little bit better. I've got it all firmly put in, no roots sticking out. Both tomato plants in, and I took the opportunity to prune both of them a little bit at the bottom. And I want you to notice something. There is no algae in the basket or on the plant or even down into the container. I see algae all the time in the arrow garden, but I've never seen algae, at least not yet, in the garden cube. Guys, since these look so well, I just couldn't be content. And so I raised the lid off of these 3 larger garden cube systems, and I reapplied the foil, and it looks so much better. I was just sitting there looking at it, and I'm saying, oh, I'll just do it the next time when I, harvest all the plants, and then I will change the water. And something said, nope, You're not going to want to look at that every day. So I went back and I lifted up the complete top, removed the plants. They weren't out of water before a few minutes. I think they will be fine, but I'll let you know. Today is what, Bria? January 21st?
I think so.
Okay. I will be sure to come back in a few days and let you see the progress of the tomato plants. I hope they don't go into shock. It's Monday, early Monday morning, January the 22nd, I believe. I've just changed the water out of the lead pot system, added the nutrients, the pump is working. Now I'm putting the top on. I've cleaned this over and over again. And I don't know if that's mineral deposits or what. That white stuff that won't come, look like it's coming off when it's wet, but after it dries, you can see that it's right there. I'm not going to cover this system. I have decided I'm going to use this system for germinating and getting a few sets of leaves on the plants and then transfer them to the other systems that I have. So I'm not going to worry about these spots. They won't annoy me too much. And one thing I noticed, there was only a little algae on one of the baskets. I'm trying to figure out which one it was. It was just a little. There we go. You can see that little green. So I'm going to sanitize these with a solution of hydrogen peroxide and water, equal parts, and then I will fill all the baskets up that I'm going to start seeds in, and yeah, and be ready to go. I just moved 2 of my little seedling baskets from the Arrow Garden into the garden cube, so I can have all 3 of these growing that I like. Now, I want to share this with you, because I know I keep stressing the point that some of the systems create more algae than others, and I just want to prove it to you. This hole right here and this hole is where I took those 2 seedling baskets. Can you see all that algae there? So you know I'm just not being paranoid. And you can see the beginning of algae right here, where the water runs through from the pump. So I'm going to clean these real good and put a cap on it. I just wanted to share with you because people email and ask me about what system I think is the best. I think all of them have good points. I love the fact that the Arrow Garden will tell you when you need to add food. There it is right there. That light will come on when the water is low, or if you need food, it'll be a red light. So I love that feature about it, and I love the fact that it's very easy to keep clean. The garden cube doesn't have an indicator. It won't tell you when it needs to have more food. But there's a water indication line there. So you can see tomorrow morning, I'm going to have to add just a little bit more water to get it back up to the maximum line. Now let's talk about the let pot system. It has military time, and I'm a senior citizen, and sometimes I get a little confused. What do you mean it's 2001? So it's military time, okay? So to give you an example of what I'm talking about, let's hit this here, and I'm going to lower the time to 8 o'clock. It'll be 0800. I hope you can understand what I'm trying to get across. Another feature about the let pot I don't like is this water level is not accurate. It won't really tell you when you need to add water, even though the indicator is there. When you look inside of the unit, it could be depleted of maybe a pint or 2 of water. You know, this signal or the water level will remain the same. So all of the systems I like, and you get more bang for your buck with the garden cube. But as far as the features, I like the Arrow Garden the best. Let pot would be third. And I think I'm going to buy a couple more systems that are different. I don't know. Mama used to say, if it ain't broke, don't try to fix it. So I kind of learned how to use the garden cubes a lot, and they're very economical. I'm pretty sure I'm going to get garden cubes again. I was going to show you all that you can move your plants without shocking them too much. When I put the aluminum foil on this system the other day, you can see a little dry in here, but not bad. I'm going to come up here and show you. I see a little wilting here. My 40 years experience gardening has taught me that they're going to go into shock a little bit, but for the most part, they don't appear to be affected. Okay? Well, I didn't really change this one out. But it's good to let you know that I still have more red robin cherry tomatoes that are just beginning to flower here and over there. So if any of these go into shock and stop producing, I have more. And I have 2 more down here that are just beginning to put on flowers. I received a couple emails asking me how I'm going to put light on my mason jar Kratky growth. Well, as you can see here, this Siberian dwarf kale was seeded on 120. Today is 123, and we have a sprout. And I imagine we're going to get some more before it's over with. So this is what I'm going to do. It's self-explanatory. This is my garden cube, and you guys know I have learned not to put too many in one unit, so I'm just going to sit them wherever I have some available space. Okay? And then when they grow real large, this is a dwarf variety, but some of the other ones won't be. I have, wow, guys, if you look at my older videos, you'll see that I have a lot of grow lights. They're outside in the storage benches in the backyard. I'll just go get some and plug them in. And if you have any questions about what I'm doing, you don't have to email me. Just put it in the comments. I'm retired, guys, and I answer all of my comments. Occasionally I'll get one late, but when I do, I apologize for responding late, but I'll respond to you. Just leave a comment below. Another question I received via email was, why did I put the dark or black sock over the jars? And I thought I explained it in the video, but just in case, let me make myself clear. You can put an old sock, it doesn't have to be black, any dark color to cover the roots and the water as it grows to prevent getting a lot of algae. You can use a paper bag. You can put tape on it if you're creative and you want to spray paint the outside of your jars. You can do that too. Just to minimize the amount of algae, make your container, if you're going to use a mason jar, dark. Somebody wanted to know, why did I put the rim around the jar? Well, inside of the net pot, it's dark, and so it wouldn't transmit a lot of light. So I didn't see the need to put the ring around the mason jar. But it certainly wouldn't hurt anything. Just in case you're confused about why I use the clay lava rocks, it is because they retain moisture, okay? And that would keep your plants supplied with a little moisture even before the roots grow down enough into the net pot and reach the nutrients. Okay, people, it has been 5 days since I removed the plants. I disturbed the roots, moved them out of the systems, and covered it with foil. And as you can see here, these two didn't go into shock too much at all. There's a little stress I can see on the leaves on this end, but nothing here. So that's a good thing. Now let's compare these two plants with one that weren't disturbed at all. This one right there and this one. So you can see it's not too much difference. However, I do see some stress in the plants up here. I see a lot of little spots on the leaves. Let me go in closer so you can see what I'm talking about. See those little spots? those roots probably got disturbed, but the cherry tomatoes are holding on. They're doing pretty good. Okay? So, would I recommend you interrupt your growing process by taking your plants out of the growing systems at this stage? I would say no. But I want to experiment and just to see if I can get away with it. And apparently it's not too much stress on the plants. So I feel pretty good about it. 6 days ago, I started some seeds, black seeded Simpson, that were lost and found that I purchased in 2015. And I don't see any evidence of germination anywhere. I've checked all 3 of these containers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove one of the lettuce seeds from my hydroponic system. I'm going to be real careful, and I'm going to attempt to remove one and put it in here. Now, this is only an experiment. The only way you can tell if something's going to work that you have never seen anybody do before is to try. But as we know, these sponges are made out of peat, and the roots easily grow right through the sponge. So if I set it up in this net pot, it'll be up too high. See right there? That'll be too high. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove about 1 inch of the bottom of this net pot. I'm going to just cut it. I'll be right back. Here it's not really straight, but I cut it the best way I could with my small scissors. And now I'm going to cut off this part of the net pot. Actually, I can just pull it off. There we go. And then I'm going to set it down into the net pot. And I think, yeah, that's going to be really cool. So, see that? That'll be more to the level of the net pot. And then I'm going to fill it in with the lava rocks. And this little basket has been used to being in water up to a certain level. So I think it's going to be about the same. I've never seen anybody do this. I'm going to try something different. And then I'll give you guys updates. And let me tell you this. I'm going to remove one of those seedlings. And I'm not going to try to pull it out and disturb the roots. I'm just going to cut it out. Okay, there you have it. And as you can see here, I put the lava rocks around the rim of the basket to keep out lights so that we can retard the growth of algae. And I'm just going to put it right here under a light. Yeah. And I think it's going to work. If the seedling was more mature, I would take it out of the basket. It appears as if that's going to be 3 seedlings there. So I'm going to wait until it gets a little bit bigger, and then I'm just going to snip them off and just have only one growing. Okay, so I'm continuing with my experiments. And if you look right here, you see this opal basil that I cut the bottom of the basket off and the sponge, and the roots have not reached the bottom. So I'm pretty confident it's going to be safe to transplant without going into shock. So I'm going to stabilize it in this position. I'll add my lava rocks. The lava rocks will also help to stabilize it, and it will wick up water. I'll be back when I'm finished. We're all done, and I'm going to put this up under the light. And I have 4. So that's the basil. That is the Tom Thumb lettuce. And here we have the Genovese basil. And over here, the one that we grew from seed, the dwarf kale. In conclusion, let me just say, I'm pretty sure I am going to start the seeds in my hydroponic systems. And then when they get 1 or 2 sets of leaves on them, I will then plant them when they're in the early stages of growth into the mason jar Kratky system. If you're wondering why I like to experiment a lot, I don't know, it's in me, because that's how I learned many decades ago. You see, we didn't have the internet. We didn't have access to YouTube videos or Instagram or TikTok. None of that was available. You learned by trial and error, and of course we learned from our grandparents and older gardeners who had some experience. So I guess that's in me, and I'm going to continue to do so, and I'm not hurting anybody, so why not? I sincerely thank all of you so much for watching my video. Please like, share this video, and if you haven't already, I hope that you will subscribe and turn on that notification bell so that you will receive all of my videos when they first come out. Thanks again. Bye now.